Good morning. This morning I wanted to talk about a couple or three of the problems that I've talked with team members about on the analytics assignment. And so the first one I wanted to talk about is getting the simulate button to work. Several folks have had trouble with that, and so let's talk about how you do that, at least in Microsoft Excel for the PC. And as you can see on my screen, I don't have the developer tab installed, so let me go do that. And I'll drag this up, and that's in the customize ribbon. Click on developer, click OK, and now you can see developer up here. I'm going to click on design mode, right click on here on the simulate button, go to assign macro, and I want to, in this case, click on sheet 1 button simulate.click and click OK. Now if there aren't any macros or subs to run here, you can click the new button. It'll be over here on the right hand side, and that will take you to the code window. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to then I'm going to go to Visual Basic, and here's the button simulate click. It's on the sheet 1, and here's my code. Now there's been a couple problems with the code as it works that I've seen people have, and one of them, let me bring this up here. I'm using a small window on my big monitor here, so let me make this all fit. Okay. So here's the code, and this code does work. There's a couple different ways to do this, but let's talk for a minute. Now, the first problem that people have been having is the first one here. This range, I'll highlight this. This line, and in fact, this right here in this particular spreadsheet, that named range is called replication. So that you'll likely have to type replication in there for that name. Otherwise, it's not going to update the that box that shows the current replication, so it doesn't count up. The second thing is that sometimes people run in. So if that is wrong, you'll get this thing that says, you'll get a message box that comes up that says 400. Well, I mean, 400 is not real useful, and if you go into Google and type that in, it's still not real useful, but the solution to that is this replication. Now, sometimes you'll get a range name not found error, and that will be because you need to have something like this in front of the range here. What this is telling Visual Basic is that this our range name called wafer list here is on sheet 3, and we see the same thing here for the wafer rep is on sheet 2. Now you can also do this by typing in, and I'll show you the so over here on the calculation sheet is called sheets 5. Here we've named it sheets 2 because it's a second sheet in the thing, but you could also type in here sheet 5, and that will work. Okay, so either one of those works just fine, and that will fix probably all the issues with your code. Now make sure you have wafer list as the correct one, and wafer rep and replication. So I'm going to close out of this, and we'll go to the other issue, or other couple issues I wanted to talk about. So if we click out of design mode and we click on simulate here, you can see how it updates the simulation control number or the replication and does the demand. I had some students not hook today's demand up to the demand that was generated on the parameters sheet. So this number right here, this F4, okay, should be this. You should have parameters. You see it says parameters, so that's parameter sheet F4. That should be that, and then you copy that down, of course. So I'm going to escape out of that, okay. And every time we recalculate the spreadsheet, then it changes the demand each time. Now, so once all that's working, and you can fill in all of these columns, no one's had any problems with those so far, so that stuff looked good. We go over to the details results page, and so you should have, it should update the weighted average fill rate to date. The bins, we've talked about the frequency formula other times, and don't forget that this is a control. When you finally get you highlight the whole thing like this, and then you go back up to the top and edit the formula so they're correct. The B3 through B52 would be the weighted average fill rate in the blue there. And then the bins, of course, you highlight all the bins. And then you hit Control, Shift, Enter, and then we'll enter all of those into that whole column. So don't forget about doing that. Now, the other thing that has given students some problems is the probability, okay? And there's a bit of a red herring in the spreadsheet I gave you. It's okay. You just need to know. And that is, you don't need to use a probability function at all. I suppose you can, but it's easier not to. The way to calculate the probability that we had one occurrence in this bin of 91.210 here is just to calculate the number of occurrences divided by the total number of occurrences. And so this formula, E3, is just equal to the frequency divided by the total number of frequencies, and that gives us our probability. And so you can see here in this part of the formula that we have the dollar signs in there, so that doesn't change, but the E3 will change each time we copy that down. So you want the probability to look like that. The cumulative probability is just a running total, and so for the first cell, you type the equals, and I just point at F, okay? And for the second cell, it's equal to whatever we had before plus the addition to the probability. And as we copy that down like this, then you see at the bottom, it'll get to be 100%. So that's a cumulative probability distribution. So those are the problems that have shown up and that I've helped other teams solve. So if you have those now, you know how to get them fixed.